Welcome to ancient Egypt, folks. Get ready to explore the land of pharaohs, pyramids, and some seriously weird hygiene habits. Yeah, you heard that right. Forget what you've seen in the movies. Ancient Egyptians were obsessed with being hair-free. We're talking completely smooth from head to toe. Think about it. Have you ever seen a Hollywood depiction of ancient Egypt with a hairy extra? Nope. They were way ahead of their time, rocking the whole hairless look centuries before it was cool. They used everything from razors made of sharpened stones to beeswax for hair removal. Now, you might be wondering why all the fuss about being hairless. Well, for starters, it was scorching hot in the desert. Nobody wants a sweaty unibrow when it feels like a furnace outside. Plus, let's be real, nobody wants to deal with shaving every day, especially with a stone razor. Ancient Egyptians, they were smarter than they look, or at least smoother. Stay tuned for more bizarre and hilarious facts from the land of the pharaohs. Okay, time for everyone's favorite ancient Egyptian mystery, the pyramids. These massive structures have baffled historians and conspiracy theorists for centuries. How did they build them? What secrets do they hold? Well, prepare to be underwhelmed, folks, because the answer to what they're made of is pretty straightforward. It's rocks! Yep, just a whole lot of rocks. Millions of them, to be exact. No alien technology, no magic spells, just good old-fashioned manual labor. Can you imagine spending years of your life dragging giant rocks across the desert just to build a giant triangle? And you thought your job was tough. But hey, at least they didn't have to worry about running out of building materials. The desert's got rocks for days. It's basically the ancient Egyptian equivalent of those unlimited breadsticks at Olive Garden. You think you're full, but then they just keep bringing more rocks. I mean, breadsticks. Now let's talk mummies. We've all seen the movies, creepy bandages, glowing eyes, the whole shebang. But here's a fun fact that might ruin your next Halloween. To prepare the bodies for mummification, they used to shove a hook up their nose and pull out their brains. Talk about an invasive procedure. I'm not sure what's worse, the brain hook or the fact that this was considered a high-paying, respectable job. And it gets weirder. After they removed all the internal organs, they stuffed the body with things like sawdust, onions, and even linen scraps. It's basically ancient Egyptian taxidermy, but with fewer googly eyes and more eternal damnation. Oh, and speaking of eternal damnation, sometimes the embalmers were so bad at their jobs that the bodies would literally explode in the tombs. Nothing says peaceful afterlife like a sudden eruption of internal organs. So much for eternal life, eh? Section 4. Pharaoh fashion wigs, makeup, and those killer heels. Forget Paris Fashion Week, folks, because ancient Egypt was where it was at. These people knew how to rock a look. Let's start with the wigs. Yes, wigs. Turns out being bald was all the rage, but nobody wants to lose their hair completely. Solution? Wigs. Made from human hair, animal hair, or even vegetable fibers, these hair pieces were all the rage. And the makeup? Don't even get me started. Both men and women rocked the eyeliner, eyeshadow, and lipstick. They believed it had magical powers to protect them from the sun and ward off evil spirits. Plus, it probably helped them stand out in a crowd of, other Egyptians wearing eyeliner. And let's not forget those killer heels. Well, not really heels, more like platform sandals. But still, these things were tall. Maybe it was a status symbol. Maybe they were just trying to see over the crowds at the market. Section 5. Animal adventures from sacred cats to toilet training crocodiles. Now let's talk animals, because ancient Egypt was basically a giant petting zoo. But not your average cuddly petting zoo. We're talking baboons serving you dinner, cats with their own personal servants, and even toilet-trained crocodiles. Don't ask me how they managed that last one, I'm just as baffled as you are. Apparently they worshipped a crocodile god named Sobek, who was basically the ancient Egyptian version of a swamp monster. Speaking of cats, these furry felines were considered sacred. Killing a cat, even accidentally, was punishable by death. Imagine getting the death penalty for tripping over Mr. Whiskers in the middle of the night. Talk about a catastrophe. And if your beloved cat passed away, get ready for a full-blown funeral, complete with mummification and a tiny sarcophagus. Section 6. Ancient Egypt. Weirder than we thought, funnier than we imagined. So there you have it, folks. Ancient Egypt, a land of hairless wonders, exploding mummies, and toilet-trained crocodiles. Who knew history could be so hilarious? From their bizarre beauty routines to their unique approach to the afterlife, the ancient Egyptians certainly knew how to keep things interesting. Just remember, The next time you see a pyramid, don't think about the grandeur or the mystery. Think about the millions of rocks and the poor saps who had to move them. And the next time you're feeling self-conscious about your hair removal routine, just remember the ancient Egyptians. They were all about that smooth life and they weren't afraid to go to extreme lengths to achieve it. So, embrace your inner Egyptian, shave it all off, and rock that smooth, hairless look with pride. Just maybe skip the brain hook and the toilet-trained crocodile. Some things are better left in the past.